Michael Millbrook always knew he was to spread the word. It was what word he was spreading that was the key. Dressed up in the Christian message, he drew followers far and wide. But it was the ones in Oklahoma they wanted first. Grandfather's plans laid out by the mother and the father were important. The old TV preachers of the 70s and 80s were nothing like Michael. He'd found a way to draw them with his power hour on his internet platform. It was live on Sunday mornings to compete with all the other mega churches out there in Oklahoma specifically. It didn't hurt. It was pulling followers all the way from Texas and Kansas. Michael found it easy to preach the word. He used a combination of Zen-like behavior and Christian-type love to draw his followers in. He avoided fire and brimstone. It was a major turnoff to anyone who was looking for some kind of salvation in the 2020s. With COVID, opiate, and alcohol epidemics all taking a massive hold on the area, it wasn't prudent to tell the world hell was here. It was easier to preach a path to paradise, with his guidance being the way. The camps, there were 4 thanks to Millbrook money and private investors, were a big draw for the homeless and the less fortunate who were addicted. They were able to get clean with the special brews used by the cooks at the camp, but that was a secret kept by the main staff. The bone broth with a drop of blood from the converts was important. The converts were the ones that sacrificed blood donations to look for others who might become converts, and those who might be food. Most would be food or missionaries spreading the good word to bring in more. They all received the special broth with each meal while at the camp's detox from all the harmful substances of the outside world. Plan that was started by Michael's Uncle Samuel in the 1960s, when preaching and teaching was the thing to do in a state full of religion. Michael prepared for his morning message to the camps. He had a meeting hall set up with each of the camps where a large TV showed him live and in color. He broadcast live streaming to the camps simultaneously so that his message could reach each and every follower. It was important to have their minds to hold their hearts. Even the children's centers where they were given and education received a special broadcast of Uncle Michael. There were times when visiting the camps was a necessity for Michael to build trust with his followers. Today, he was going to broadcast directly from Camp Isaiah. It was his favorite camp and the first established in Creek County. He arrived in a nice high-class van. He didn't like to ride in a limo when coming to the camps. It gave the wrong impression to his followers. Many of the new ones found him easier to relate to if he was just a passenger in a van with some of his other people. They brought with them supplies in a follow van, but that was for the kitchen, a special brew for his visit. He always stayed for lunch. Michael had everyone gathered in the community room for the morning meditation. He loved the feel of his followers. Each one was a psychic link back to him, thanks to his converts. He could reach out with the tree of living power granted to each of them by the mother and the father through the miracle of the blood bond. Only one drop to bond, but a whole feeding to convert. The bone broth soup Michael had fed to each was the key. He kept them well fed with it. It kept them strong with his influence in their minds. It also kept them clean of drugs and other substances. The morning meditation began like any other. It was peaceful. Michael's soft words of a loving God. Acceptance and all mistakes could be healed. As he spoke, he could feel them coming together, the minds humming like little bees in a hive. Suddenly, the peace was broken. "It's all a lie," a woman yelled from the back. Michael opened his eyes, his trance partially broken, as 2 of the Garadians on the door swooped in to get her, but Michael motioned them to bring her forward, not hide her. "Sister, tell me what makes you insist this is a lie," Michael said. He rose from his seated position on the platform at the front of the room. "You talk of peace, love, but we are subjected to horrible things. They take us to quiet rooms and refuse us contact. They only give us buckets to puke and defecate in." She was crying now, as she struggled against the guardians. "Sister, are you not recovering from drugs?" Michael's voice soft as he asked this in front of all. He looked at her earnestly. "Yes, but I'm not an animal," she stammered. "I am sorry you feel so mistreated, my sister." Kamal. He held out his arms and the woman fled to him. He hugged her for a long time as she sobbed. Slowly he sat down in the floor with her and motioned for one of the guardians for a cup of broth. "Sister, you have not had food. Your stomach has been sick from the drugs." "Let me feed you," Michael said. One of the guardians handed him a cup. "I could not," she cried. "I would be pleased to help you, sister." "It is the will of the one we worship," Michael said. He put the cup to her lips. She sipped through her cries and soon was quiet. She took the cup and finished it. She then held on to Michael. The others in the room had formed a circle close around them, putting hands on her and bowing their heads as if in prayer. "Forgive me," she whispered. "There is nothing to forgive." "I am sorry for the treatment you thought was ill-mannered," Michael said. He brushed her hand lovingly, like a child. "I will do better, Father Michael. I think I should go back to the quiet room a little bit longer," she said. "Only if you wish. You may leave at any time," Michael said. "No, I am fine now, but the poison still makes me sick. I want to be free of it," she said. "You will, sister. You will, with our help." Michael let go of her. His hands gently took her back to her room, and the rest of the room clapped for her. Michael smiled. The streaming camera had been running the whole time. He wasn't about to let gold like this get away from him. It could have gone terribly wrong if he'd said the wrong thing to her. Once the cameras turned off, he relaxed a little. It was time for lunch with his camp followers. He actually loved this part of the work. They were already moving to gather in the lunch hall. But Michael had one more stop, at the daycare. So many of them had children. Most of them couldn't take care of on their own. Michael had managed to work out a deal with DHS to keep the children in a very nice part of the camp with a schoolroom. It was considered a religious private school. Michael's great-grandmother often visited, and loved to spend time spoiling the children at each of the camps. Children ran to him with painted pictures to show him and hugging him. Even the teenagers were happy to see him. He smiled and sat down with them. He listened for a time, as each of them had something new to tell him, and then he informed them it was time for them to have lunch with him.